over the last 12 hours, I've been really contemplating whether I really want to produce on YouTube. It's like I feel like there's this like inner certainty that wasn't decided by my conscious mind to make this decision to start posting on YouTube. I feel like in a sense, it feels like I've been called forth. I was up at 3:30 in the morning last night. Just like, I couldn't sleep. I've been having some insomnia lately. But I think yesterday I couldn't sleep because when I got to my yoga mat for my practice in the evening, it was already a little bit past midnight, and I felt like maybe my body was already tired. So instead of doing like a 30-minute, 40-minute thing, or even 20 minutes, I was like, I'm gonna do 8 minutes. So I did an 8-minute yoga, and then I was up. And while I was up, I started doing some journaling, and I just started to write, like, why do I want to do this? Like, what? Like, just why? Why now? I'm still adamant on not being on social media for myself, such as consuming Instagram, consuming Facebook, consuming TikTok. I still do consume YouTube. I like watching interviews. I do particularly right now like Club Shay Shay. But yeah. So this morning when I woke up, I was like, okay, let me center myself. Let me do some yoga, and let me do some meditation. So I did some yoga because, just wanted to focus on something outside of the thoughts that I've been having about creating on YouTube. I wanted to center myself. I wanted to bring my attention to my body. I wanted to bring my attention to my breath. And I really wanted to make sure that this is coming from a solid place. And also, I've been really doing my best to question whether or not, hey, do I want to do this? It's like, is this for real? Is this for real? Like, how much weight does this actually carry? Because over the past 24, 25 days that I've been doing yoga, yeah, I've had ideas that have come to me and have felt exciting, but I mean, it fades pretty quickly. It just felt like a feather, like a cool feather that maybe crossed my mind, and so okay, then there it went. All right, cool. I didn't have to go down that route. However, during meditation today, I felt like, no, this is like a strong boulder that is here, and that I must acknowledge. And it's, as I mentioned earlier, about the inner certainty that I felt. One thing that I thought about maybe a week ago now is the intelligence of your body. I mean, think about it, right? Think about the proportion size between your head and your full body, right? Or your body from your neck down, right? Sometimes we think so much about the mind, and the mind is powerful. The mind is definitely powerful. However, there's also intelligence in the gut, right? We talk about following your gut instinct. We talk about your heart, following your heart. And there are things that signals that your body sends you, intelligence that your body sends you, that your mind, might even fight against, but you still move through anyway because of the intelligence of the body. Now, for me, I didn't really have, I've had some kind of exercise regimen most of my life. But when I was traveling, I had no exercise regimen. I probably worked out less than 30 times within a year. I did a lot of walking, but in terms of exercising, I didn't. And I feel like that was a big cause of like a lot of the mental health stuff that I was having. But with yoga, what I feel like yoga has done is it brings awareness to the body, and it allows the body to speak to you more, and be able to step into the intelligence of the body more and listen to the body. And the body can really provide tremendous psychological effects for the mind, and you need both. You need your mind to be working well, and you need your body to be working well. You can't just be 100% one or the other. Both are important when it comes to being healthy and being a functioning human being. So yeah, meditation done, yoga done this morning, and I still feel like, okay, it makes sense for me to follow through with this. For whatever reason, I feel like I've been called forth to do this content. So here we are. One thing that I feel is very important is my relationship with the content that I post, and the intention in which I post the content. Because I used to post content, I used to post memes on Instagram, posting, all my story, and I use that as a way to make me feel better about myself. People laughing at the memes that I post, seeing who liked my story, and seeing who liked my post, and all this kind of stuff. And it was all validation driven, and looking for, I guess, social media to perhaps heal some wounds that I have within myself that I have not addressed. And I don't want to go into this with that intention. I really want to go into this with intention to help, intention to give, intention to have an impact. With that, some thoughts I've been having as well is not even looking at the comments on my YouTube videos. Just posting. When I was at a Genius Network annual event, Joe Polish, the CEO and founder of Genius Network. Shout out to Genius Network. Got a Genius Network sweater on. It's actually my favorite sweater. I love the sweater so much. And Joe was interviewing. Joe was interviewing Marie Forleo, who's another entrepreneur, and he said that he's like, you don't ever check social media, huh? Like, social media is not the best way to get a hold of her. She's like, yeah, just have a team that posts for her, and she goes and lives her life. And I like that idea. It's like, hey, you know what? I produce on social media. I'm doing this to help and hopefully have a positive impact in the world. But I do not reside in the world of social media. I do not live in the world of social media. I live in the physical world, which, people can argue that social media world has actually become even more real than the real world. I was thinking about this when I was doing door-to-door sales. We had a 10 a.m. meeting every Monday through Saturday, and there was a lot of people in the office, right? Maybe like 40-50 people, and there were pretty women in there as well. And at this point, I was not using social media. I'm still not using social media, as I mentioned. And I was thinking, okay, like, here's this individual right here in front of me, but I know nothing about this person. And you can see this person every day, and social media could be a tool to stalk and to look and to really get more of a feel of who this person actually is, or at least that is what the perception is, right? But of course, you can curate an image on social media, which is like the thing about social media is, like, it's not real. It's fake. Everything you see, I won't say everything, but a good majority of what is posted, it has been thought through at the very least. It's been curated, and is often not the realness, the full picture. And there's a picture on my Instagram when me and my former business partner were at the Royal Versailles Ball, and it's a nice picture. We look amazing, and we're at the Palace of Versailles in France, and we both look just incredible. However, you don't get to see you don't know the full picture behind that picture, right? You have no idea that my former business partner's suitcase was lost by the airline when we arrived in France, in Paris, and she didn't have clothes really. And thankfully we had some people who actually delivered my suit and her dress from London, to France, which is just really was amazingly kind of them. So it was in a different suitcase, and the day of the actual ball, bro, that journey from Paris to Versailles was super stressful. I was lugging the suitcase that had the dress and the and my tux, on top of me lugging my giant ass suitcase. And it's like an hour commute, and you have to get on like a couple of different trains, and you gotta carry shit down. You have to carry the luggages downstairs because sometimes there's no escalators, and and not just that, but like that day, like we went shopping, and we're at like H&M, and it's packed as hell, and it's hot, and we're sweating, and I'm sitting down on like the floor at H&M, and while like my former business partner, while she goes and gets dressed and all this kind of stuff, and And it was crazy. It was a difficult journey, but you would never know that from the picture you see. We assign emotions to the pictures that we see. We assign emotions to the videos that we see. And I don't know about you, but at least for me, I would assign a perfect picture to what I saw, right? Like perfection, right? And when I mean perfection, I mean the emotional state that I believe that the people in the picture had, which was peace, bliss, happiness, whatever it is. Meanwhile, you don't even know half the story. So yeah, man, that's just a little side tangent, and just how I've been thinking about social media, and I don't want to live in that world. I don't, man. I don't. And I've been thinking about entrepreneurship as well. Like, am I really an entrepreneur? And and what I realize is, you know what, man, I don't want to be living on my laptop. I don't want to be working from coffee shops and airports. I feel like all those images that we see online are just marketing, right? And it's marketing themselves. Either they have something to sell you, right? They post this stuff because they want to sell you, because they say, look, I'm living the dream. But that lifestyle is far from you feeling total bliss. Don't get me wrong, it can be fun, but at the same time, like, traveling does come with a great degree of shallowness as well. Not necessarily shallow like how you look, but how you feel. But there were some really great moments, and I don't regret the travel whatsoever. And traveling can be fun, but again, intention really matters, right? Like, why do you want to travel? And I felt like me traveling was gonna put me in this state of bliss, and now all my problems are solved, and I got the pictures for Instagram, and I got all this kind of stuff, but I still feel the same. As a matter of fact, I felt worse because it didn't solve what I thought it was going to solve for me. So anyway, for me, one thing I really I'm keeping in mind is, like, I really do want to have a positive impact in the world, and I don't want to be reliant on YouTube as a way for me to I don't want to use it as a way for me to make my livelihood. I want to make my livelihood separate from YouTube. I want to make a shitload of money outside of YouTube, and I want to do it in a way that is fun for me. That is, just as my mentor Joe Pollard says, he calls it ELF, easy, lucrative, and fun. I want to do it in a way that's easy, lucrative, and fun for me. I want to make money by other means other than YouTube, and just use this as this, like, fun way to just provide value and hopefully have a positive impact in the world. So I'm about to reach my destination here shortly. Those are just some thoughts. I also want to, the biggest thing is, like, I really want to take you on the inner journey, because as I mentioned with that Palace of Versailles thing, on the outside things can just look fucking amazing for someone. You just, on the outside, things can be like, man, this person is living the perfect life, things are just incredible, and you don't see the emotions that person feels. You don't see the heartache that person feels. You don't see the baggage that they're carrying into the present moment from their childhood. There's a lot of stuff, man, and gotta realize that people are people as well. So just like you. Let me see. 1 second. Hello. All right. How long is it for free?
We give you free 90 minutes.
Oh,
so
awesome.
After 90, you pay $1 every half hour.
Okay.
$8 for the whole day.
Amazing. All right. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So what I really want to do is I want to help with navigating the internal journey. Mostly like, dude, my whole life I never felt good about myself. I didn't feel confident in my own skin. And, you know, I feel like deep down, everybody just really wants to just be loved. Just want to be loved, man. They want to feel like they matter. They want to feel like they're important. They want to feel at least like worthy of their own love, which can be really difficult to give. We put a lot of conditions on ourselves for us to receive even our own love. We don't allow ourselves to feel love. So we don't allow ourselves to feel our own self-love, I should say. That was the case with me. And that's who I really want to speak to in this channel is that person who was just like me. Ambitious, entrepreneurial, wants more out of life, but damn it, those emotions inside. There's a lot of conflict in there. I want to help be able to navigate that and bring some awareness to things and help solve the internal world and help people really have a positive relationship with themselves. First and foremost, is to have that self-love, that unconditional self-love, and experience the world from there. Right, changing the relationship with the external, not looking to the external to derive happiness, joy, peace, grace, all that kind of stuff. Not relying on the external for that, but changing that to like, hey, you know what? I look to myself for that, or whatever it may be. You may look to God, the universe, whatever that looks like for you. And changing the relationship with the external being whatever that is for you. For me, it's like I want to be able to just give, and also with the external, it's just a playing field. It's just a playing field to build. It's a big playground, and it's a big field for fun. That's how I see it. So I've arrived at my destination, and hope you enjoyed this. I'm not gonna lie, I feel both excited and feelings of nervousness because I'm not really sure what this channel is going to really be about. What I do know, is what I do feel inside is this inner certainty that for some reason I have been called forth to begin to upload on YouTube and make a difference. I'm not sure what the difference is going to be or the magnitude the difference is going to be, but I do feel that the life of speaking, the life of bringing people together, I do feel like I have been chosen to be a person to do this kind of work. And if you think about just my story in terms of coming from a household that had domestic violence, Dad went to prison 4 times. Mom didn't graduate from high school. My favorite uncle used to snort cocaine in my living room growing up, to living my dream as a digital nomad and, you know, sleeping over a billionaire's house and having dinner with the prince and doing what I thought was going to bring me happiness and fulfillment, and getting it and realizing it was not what I thought it was going to be. And the past 26 days now, I've been doing yoga every day. Most of those days, it was twice a day. I think there's only 3 days in the last 26 days or so where I didn't do yoga twice a day. And what I think is going to happen is more answers will come to me as I move on through my life. You know, I will be open to myself and the world at large, the universe, for signals and what sits right in my body, and following my intuition. I don't really have a step-by-step in terms of what this looks like, or I don't have a social media plan to 1 million subscribers. I don't know. I don't have any of that. I'm just really going off of intuition. So I don't really know. I don't really know what this is going to look like, but I will say that I just feel like I'm supposed to do this. I feel like I'm supposed to do this for whatever reason. You know, I feel like I've always been a step-by-step kind of person, meaning I always have like this visualization of my own life, where I'm walking up a dark staircase and I can't see anything up the staircase besides the next illuminated step. That's all I can see in front of me, and all I can do is take that next step. And if there's anything I've learned, especially after being an entrepreneur for several years, is things change all the time. Things change. You know, you have ideas of something, and you know, you plan 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps ahead, and your next step, everything else goes out the window. And I am going to do my best to really remain in the present and really do my best to remove my ego from the equation and allow whatever is to flow through me. I do realize that a lot of what I'm saying sounds like kind of like woo-woo talk, and in the past I was very against like woo-woo. I was all about practicality. But you know what, man, when I was doing door-to-door sales, I remember I was waiting for my friend to pick me up. It was already dark, it was cold, I didn't have a sweater, and I'm waiting to get picked up. I'm sitting at a bus stop, and I had a horrible day. And I remember sitting at the bus stop and just being like, dude, like, seriously, nobody's coming to save you, man. Nobody is coming to save you. That's the truth. But funny enough, that I think it was that same evening, I had a spiritual awakening. I awakened to the spiritual world. Now, do I consider myself spiritual? I don't know. I consider myself nigga spiritual, which is like spiritual, but you can say nigga. But I'm careful with what labels I assign myself. I was joking about that nigga spiritual line, you know. I'm careful about, because with label comes an identity. With identity comes consistency, and sometimes consistency can be too rigid for, and you can potentially miss what is actually good for you. But at the same time, sometimes rigidity, whatever, however you say that, can actually be very beneficial. So I think it's definitely it's a very nuanced topic, and it's up to the person experiencing to make that judgment call. But yeah, the door to door was so fucking difficult that I had a spiritual awakening. Oh man, I remember I was sending a voice message on WhatsApp to one of my friends, and I was like, let me tell you something, man. Niggas ain't having spiritual awakenings sitting on their couch one day like eating potato chips. Like, you gotta go do some shit to be like, there's more than this fucking physical world. I need some help. And when I say like spiritual awakening, I'm also careful not to, you know, I don't consider myself religious, but I also don't like worship spirits. I don't worship anything. I feel like for me, spirituality, at least for me, it's just at its very basic core is connection. Is connection to yourself and connection to other things. And that's why I feel like yoga is quote unquote spiritual, because you feel so connected to yourself. You know, you feel connected to your body. You become aware of things you are able to do and things you aren't able to do yet, and you're able to see your limitations, and you know you get thrown off balance, and it's really a practice of self-connection. Think about it. You're literally just stretching and breathing. You are connecting with yourself. And there's something that feels more than